Legacy. It is something any athlete is trying to build during their career. Some leave an enormous impact on a game. Some bring their franchises numerous titles. And some are breaking records left and right. Looking at you, Stephen Curry. But those are some of the concepts that are valued among sports fans. And what about the players, the people behind the image? To most people, their legacy is their family, especially children. Throughout NBA history, there have been so many generational players that it's difficult to know them all. Many of them weren't successful, some of them were, and today we will talk about one of the most hyped NBA kids, Bronny James, the son of GOAT candidate LeBron James. We will talk about how good Bronny is, his biggest strengths and weaknesses, and try to predict his career path. Also, I would really like to hear your opinion, as I'm very curious about what you, my dear subscribers, NBA fans, and just passing by viewers, think about the league's future. Now grab some snacks, get yourself comfortable, and enjoy this video. But before that, smash that like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already, and hit that notification bell to get updates on our latest NBA content. Let's keep rolling. First things first. I would like to clarify that I think that Bronny is a separate person from LeBron James, and he isn't just his extension. I see Bronny as an individual player whose career shouldn't be held back or vice versa just because he is LBJ's son. Although there would be definitely some comparisons with his supernova dad, those parallels are made in order to somehow estimate the future of James Jr. So let's start. Bronny James is a 17-year-old player from Ohio who is currently playing for his high school team, Sierra Canyon. Bronny is already an amazing 6 feet 3 inches at the age of 17, and he is dazzling all the scouts that have come to see him. It's unknown if he will follow in his father's footsteps and enter the NBA right out of high school with no breaks in college, and in this video, we'll try to get some sort of answer to this question. If he does decide to enter the NBA, there's a good chance LeBron will be able to play with or against his kid in the same league. We can all picture how awesome it would be, can't we? Bronny will not be able to be drafted until 2024 unless the NBA changes its draftees' eligibility rules. But does Bronny James actually have what it takes to impress the NBA? Here are some of the pros and cons. He is not bending under pressure. Bronny James appears to be a decent young man who is clearly growing up under more strain than any of us had when we were 17. Consider your father to be one of the greatest basketball players of all time. Are you even permitted to be anything less than the best when that is the case? He's also rather tall for a 17-year-old, weighing in at 200 pounds and measuring 6'3". His future college career will eventually come down to where he ends up on the recruiting boards. He is currently in a strange position because, while he's obviously solid, more on that later, he is playing for one of the best teams in the country and has to share the spotlight with some other really good players. Every game he plays is almost immediately sold out. Everyone wants to see Bronny play, especially considering that LeBron Sr. is Bronny's biggest fan and frequently visits his games. Pressure is high, and Bronny has been in this position since his early years. Who knows, maybe under LeBron Sr.'s guidance and so much media attention, he might become the biggest basketball persona the game has ever seen. Now, let's talk about his actual skill set. He does have talent. It is inevitable that you generate attention when you are the son of one of the greatest NBA players of all time, but the expanding list of programs recruiting the young swingman goes beyond his last name. James has really started to grow physically and is coming into his own as a player. His jump shooting looks decent, he has long range, he handles the ball well enough to play some point guard, and maybe the most encouraging development so far is how he is growing into a solid defender. Simply put, he is a really solid high school player. He does all the right things, is fundamentally solid, and plays unselfishly. Here is his scout report from Evan Daniels. James, the son of LeBron, has a sturdy build, good size, and an average length for his size. Athletically, James is impressive, and he's continued to become more athletic over the last year. Where he impresses the most is with his feel for the game, vision, and passing. While he's projecting as an off-guard combo for now, the passing ability makes you wonder if he could eventually slide over to full-time point guard with development. James is also an impressive shooter with good shot mechanics. He's comfortable pulling up for 1 and 2 dribble pull-ups and has a lot of potential as a long-range shooter. It's still early in the process, and ultimately his upside will be determined by his physical and skill growth. However, it might be too early to fully spot any kind of unique abilities or athleticism that separates him from everyone else, but in Bronny's game, as he is only 17 years old, the sky is the limit for the young man. His genetics. Once again, he is the son of one of the most freakish athletes basketball has seen. LeBron Sr. has it all: vertical, strength, and longevity. That's why it's logical to expect the same, at least to some extent, from Bronny James. And he delivers. As it was mentioned before, James's physical abilities are developing at a solid rate. Another important factor is that there is a chance of a growth spurt. While he is standing at a solid 6'3" or 6'4", which is almost the NBA average, there is a realistic chance that he'll grow in the next 2 to 3 years. With LeBron James, who is the epitome of a smart athlete who does everything to stay in prime shape, the kid has all the chances to become a long defensive combo guard. That's an archetype that's fairly popular with NBA teams, especially if one can shoot well. So basically, those are the 3 main reasons why Bronny could be interesting to NBA franchises. Actually, the composite rankings from 24/7 Sports have James slotted in as the number 38 player and number 6 combo guard in the 2023 class. So there are people around pro basketball who do recognize the talent of Bronny. However, there is a flip side. So far, he hasn't shown anything special. One of the biggest indicators that Bronny won't be good enough in the future is his lack of a scoring mentality. James has been solid in passing, vision, and feeding his teammates, but hasn't shown anything special when it comes to putting up numbers. Yes, his latest Staples Center blockbuster might indicate the start of his offensive development, but we can't tell for sure. Whenever he comes, he draws the media. While it might be a positive for an NBA franchise, it can also be a con. If Bronny won't become better than he is now, he will be traded mostly for his superstar dad. And believe me, fans would know that, which might put even more pressure on the young one and cause players' outrage. However, it's fair to say that it's really early to say anything about Bronny's development. He is young, promising, and has all the tools, so let's end this video on a wholesome note. This is what his father thinks of his future career. My son is putting in the work, and we don't really talk about it. We never talk about it, but his dream is to play in the NBA, LeBron responded during a December 7th media session when asked about wanting to play with Bronny. That's what he hopes, to be in the NBA and play it at a high level, and he has my support and my blueprint. A dad versus a son. Is the NBA ready for it? I doubt it. And what is your opinion? Do you think that Bronny James will enter the league? Would you like to see him play with his father? Tell us what you think in the comments down below. And once again, make sure to leave a like on this video and hit that subscribe button to catch up with the best NBA content. If you like this video, make sure to watch my other videos about recent NBA news. Thank you for watching.